pretty much your life was falling apart, but deep down you knew something big was going to happen. Well, pretty much we're going to get into that and how and what that looks like when God is really calling you to new heights. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I wanted to talk about something very special to me, very dear. I wanted to just talk about what it is and what it feels like when God is pushing you towards greater heights. But everything that you pretty much think about is giving you second thoughts, you're getting goosebumps, and you literally don't really know what that feels like, but you know something big is going to happen. So, the first thing that I want to kind of shed light on is my own personal experience. I became very uncomfortable with my personal space and the people that I hung around every day. It did not feel normal. Things just started to shift drastically, and I felt very uncomfortable in that space. And everything pretty much was the same. It was literally the same exact thing that I was doing prior this entire time, but I felt literally very uncomfortable. Or you start to have like dreams. I started having dreams pretty much about like maybe being in a different home and like buying new, like just different things, buying new furniture and all this other stuff. So it was just very weird dreams. I wouldn't call them weird, but there were definitely a lot of light on, hey, these surroundings are literally no longer serving you. So after having a lot of dreams, I feel like I know exactly what I'm called to do, but then I want to help a lot of other people really understand what this could look like. Okay. So the first thing first is that I literally felt or shift, or you should pretty much feel a shift. Like I just said, the people that you hang around, the places that you hang out to, you start to feel a vibe like this is not your normal scenario per se. You feel like these people are really just not even like who you are supposed to be around. And then you start getting lots of numbers and numerology where you start seeing 222 everywhere, you start seeing 333, you start seeing 111. All of this literally started happening to me, I'll say maybe within like the past 2 years. And at first, I thought it was just normal. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm seeing like some really nice numbers. They look pretty, you know, they kind of show a lot of repetition or whatever. But I didn't really think nothing too big of it until I started to look up maybe what does this mean? A lot of people were searching those same exact informations. But what I found out is a lot of them had a lot of different meanings, but they're not numbers to ignore per se. Another thing is that you randomly will start getting opportunities, but then you feel super even nervous to even take them. You feel like you know that's what you should be doing, but you're like, oh, I don't know if I should do it or not. You start to feel super doubtful. And that's literally the first connection that made me realize, God is literally trying to take me to new heights. And if I'm ready, He's ready. All I have to do is literally put my foot on the gas and get towards the goals that I want to go to. But I have to take my own dreams and goals first and really put in that action so I can really get to where I want to be. So I'm going to go through the list really quick. Don't mind me if I'm looking down and these are just my notes. But the first one I realize is that your old life will start to feel very small for you. And what that could look like, you start to really outgrow your friends, your family, even your current environment, your job. Things that used to come super easy to you just start feeling like this can no longer work. And you pretty much wake up one day and it's like, what did I do with my life for all these years when these years went by? Why haven't I seen that, I was better and bigger for something new? You start to really just think of your life and you really just start to like, sometimes you can feel a little bit depressed too, a little sad, that you let all this time go by, that your situation is still the same, but you're now just realizing that you pretty much could have done a lot better. Another thing is that literally you start to really crave change and you also feel like your environment is literally holding you back. So that's something to look out for. But the next thing that I really want to talk about is literally the synchronicities of numbers. A lot of people, like society, I would say, do not talk about the synchronicities of numbers. Numbers have lots of true meanings. And in the Bible, even God used a lot of numbers to, decipher things. Lots of numbers were used in the Bible. And I feel like when people start to connect back two things. This is like a different topic. But when you start to connect numbers and a lot of different philosophies, you start to realize that a lot of it kind of dates back to the Bible, because that's literally where it all started. There's a lot of information in there. So if you start seeing random numbers, you look away, you see 555, and you're like, okay, 555. Then you're like driving behind, a van or something like that. And it's like, God is calling you home, or not home, but God is calling, some type of weird, like, you know, some type of weird, what is it called, quote on the back of a bus. And you're like, oh my gosh, I just thought of that. All those are literally stuff that kind of like you start to realize, and you start to wake up and jump up out the matrix and wonder, like, what is happening right now. But another one is going to be opportunities start to come, but you literally feel so doubtful, but you know for a fact that this is what you're supposed to do. It's like, you ever had this idea of like, oh my gosh, I want to start my fashion brand, right? Years can go by, months can go by, days can go by, second can go by, and you still feel the same way about actually starting this brand. It's because that's what you're supposed to do. Okay, that is what you are supposed to do. Somewhere out there, you in another multiverse are experiencing this, and it's trying to get you to experience this on this physical realm. Okay, so you need to start thinking about what it is that, you keep on blowing off because this excuse, and you don't have enough money there, and, you don't have that, you don't have this. There's a lot of stuff that you should probably kind of look into, right? If this keeps popping up. Another way to kind of realize this is also, the fourth one is really and truthfully, people around you start to act real funny. Okay, they start to act very different. You know what they say, people realize your potential way before you even, realize it. And that's really the sad truth. It can be people that you've known your entire life. People can tell when you're outgrowing them, but you would start to pretty much feel different to them, right? And what that can look like is that they can either become very distant with you, they can become very jealous of you, low key. They wouldn't really say it out loud, but then you would kind of get like your senses, your sixth sense would sometimes realize, like, oh, you start to get a bad vibe around them per se. Like, you can pick up on this stuff, but that's a whole nother story. But you suddenly, feel like it's critical for you to grow now. And that's literally one of the things that I actually experienced that let me know that, girl, you need to step it up all the way. But you really start realizing who is for you and who's really for themselves. And that's one of the toughest things to really experience, and one of the saddest truths, that I can never experience. It's almost like a stab in the heart, or a form of betrayal that you could experience. But it could be somebody that's noticing your energy shift, or even your closest member trying to downplay your success. Like, what you did, anybody could do it. And usually that's never really the case. But you also start to feel like, a resistance, okay? Because you feel like you're being prepared. And what that could look like, life feels really chaotic. Nothing goes as planned. You could plan stuff to the T, and things would just really just switch up on you last minute. It can also feel like you're being tested, but deep down, you know that there's more for you. I've experienced this countless amounts of time, but I realized that it was all literally a test. So much things that I've literally experienced. I can kind of go on forever in this video if I really wanted to, but these are just some of the tips I kind of just wanted to share. And I just want you guys to realize that there is a God. There is a God out there, and you literally just have to trust his timing. You literally have to, walk the faith, and like they say, and you really have to open up your eyes to the things that are happening around you. Nothing, absolutely nothing is by an accident. Everything is not supposed to happen, or a coincidence, like they said. That's literally never ever the case. Okay, nothing is by accident, everything is on purpose. And this is how God is able to align us with our greater purpose in life, and allow us to get on the path to where we are supposed to be. So I do want you guys to step into faith. Do what you know that you're supposed to do. Stop waiting till tomorrow. the next day. I know that this is like really hard. So I really want to make another video for you guys that's really going to go into like a lot of depth of what it really means to really step out. If you're having issues with procrastination and you're having issues with stepping out into your purpose and really figuring it out, there's more to these videos you find on YouTube saying, oh, just get up and do it. Just do it. It's harder than that. And I literally had to learn the longer way because I started to get on YouTube and watch a lot of people say the same thing, but you realize you really and truly, nah, it doesn't start from just getting up and doing it. Yes, some people can, but there's literally levels to this. But all in all, I just want to say, you guys, stop doubting yourself. You know, give yourself grace for how far you've come. You literally watched this video, so you're obviously at least somewhere in some shape or form getting ahead just because you are literally trying. So give yourself grace to not be hard on yourself, okay? And honestly, God wouldn't give you the vision if it was not for you. And I feel like I need to hear that from myself, right? But if you're experiencing these signs, God is literally calling you to step out in faith and get your ish together. So, with that being said, if you guys like this video, please leave a like, comment, and please subscribe to my videos. I look forward to making a lot more of these videos to really help you guys out. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Don't forget, it's Life with Shauna. Thank you again. Bye, guys.